Welcome back, gang, to another History in Graveyards. Today will be my last video of 2023 because it is New Year's Eve tomorrow. Yeah, well, hopefully I can get this edited for you guys and up before the end of the year so it can really be the last one of the year. But anyway, where am I? I am at Grover's Mill, New Jersey. This is the location of the famous War of the Worlds, well, not broadcast, but this is the location of where it supposedly happened. Now, the broadcast itself was not here at Grover's Mill, New Jersey. It was in New York City at CBS Studios, which was actually located at 485 Madison Ave, New York, Manhattan. You can Google search that address. It's just a corner with a big building. Whatever. Anyway, so now this all took place on October 30th in 1938, and they pretty much picked this location by where the hell's my note? They pretty much just had somebody point to a spot on the map and said, okay, that's where it's going to take place before I guess they did the broadcast. Sorry, I'm freezing out here. It's really cold and I'm right by water. Why am I by water? I don't know, but I'm cold. So anyway, yes, back. War of the Worlds. This was 85 years ago today. Well, not today, but not about now. 85 years ago. Now, I have 4 locations that I'm going to bring you to on this one. One is here, this park, where there's a plaque that I'm going to show you. 2 is, well, there's kind of 2 put together, which is a barn and the farmhouse of where the aliens supposedly landed in the broadcast. And then the other one is this little statue art piece that they made with recycled metal of one of the tripod alien crafts, I guess you can say. And you know my thing, guys. Feel free to pause. It's cold out here. My shoulder hurts. Ow. Hopefully that's in focus for you guys. My hand is shaking, but I got the stabilizer on, so you probably can't see it. But if you do, I'm sorry. So there it is, the main plaque of the War of the Worlds broadcast here in the park. I'm going to try to get as close to it as possible, but it is swampy as shit. And I wore my good shoes. I'm doing this for you guys. All right. Just soak myself. Here's the plaque. Get a little closer here so you can read that. All right, gang, so the year was 1938, October 30th, Mischief Night. And Orson Welles decided to present this H.G. Wells' story about Martians landing from Mars. And he did so. He presented it, but the way he did it was very believable. He used the whole, we interrupt this broadcast to bring you whatever, the Martians landing. And it just kind of created mass hysteria. The whole town A lot of stuff happened in town that I'm going to get into in a little bit. But yeah, it all started here. Now, imagine yourself back in 1938. There's no cell phones, there's no TVs. They could go to the movie theater, but they were kind of scared back then to go to the movie theater because we were just getting out of the Depression, and they had like newsreels before the movies, and it was just kind of depressing and scary, especially about the war that was coming because Hitler just gained power of Germany. So things were getting a little hairy there, and a lot of people didn't want to hear it or know too much about it. So everyone just chilled out and sat in their living rooms and hung out with their radio and listened to the broadcast and the news. So that's where they got all the information from. So when Orson Welles was presenting the story and said, you know, we interrupt this broadcast to bring you aliens coming, that really messed people up because they thought anything that came out of that radio was legit. It wasn't. It was a play. He actually said it was a play in the beginning, and I think there was like an intermission or like a, I don't know, halftime part or something where they said it again, that we're back to the presentation of, you know, War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. So I don't know why people, I don't know, looked over that, or I guess they were so wrapped up or going in and outside, you know, not hearing that part with their guns, because they did try to shoot Martians down that weren't even there. There's a barn I'm going to bring you to where people brought their shotguns out and guns and started shooting at a water tower, what resembled one of the tripods, or what they, even though it was there, and they, sorry, I'm burping right now. Sorry. Even though the water tower was there and always been there, they just so happened to think, hey, that must be one of the tripods, because they were so messed up and hysteria, I guess. So they all started shooting at it. Maybe there's bullet holes on it to this day. I don't know. I'm going to go check that out with you guys in a little bit. But anyway, now a couple messed up things happened during this. Number one, a woman in Pittsburgh tried to commit suicide by poisoning herself. She said it was better than being, killed by the death ray from the Martians. She actually tried to kill herself. I don't know how somebody stopped her or what. I don't know what kind of poison she used. Maybe it was rat poison or a bunch of pills. I don't know. Don't know the details on that. Sorry. The other thing that happened was in Providence, in Rhode Island. The townspeople wanted the power turned off, so it was harder for the aliens to find them and kill them with the death rays. Yeah. I have a little story about that microphone right there that I'll get into in a little bit. Moving on to the next location, which will be the barn and the farmhouse, which is kind of part of the same area. All right, gang, so this is the exact location of where the aliens landed, supposedly. And that house right there, that blue house, that's actually the farmhouse. And this is the main area. This is a law office now, but this is the main area of where all this took place. Now, if you see that tower right there, that is the water tower. Now, the people were so crazed by this in town that they thought this was one of the tripods. And if you saw War of the Worlds movie, you would know what I'm kind of talking about. But the townspeople started to shoot at that water tower. I wonder if there's still bullet holes up there in the wood part of it. I'm not really sure. But anyway, and I'm going to get another shot of that blue farmhouse right there, because that was also mentioned in the broadcast. But this is the exact location of where the aliens supposedly landed. Even though somebody just haphazardly pointed at a map and said, here, let's say this is where it happened. All this took place right here. It's really cool to be standing. Even though this is just a parking lot, it's really cool to stand here. You know, I mean, this was history. This is American history. And it's just, to me, this is really cool to be able to stand in a spot that everyone talks about. I'm sure all these other people that are just driving by here have no clue what this area is. I mean, it's very significant, and I don't think too many people know about it, but, well, People nowadays probably don't know too much about the War of the Worlds broadcast. I mean, it was 1938, but still, it's just really cool to be able to come to these places where history took place. You can still smell it in the air, I guess you could say. Also, guys, right behind me at that barn, during the whole mass hysteria thing, there was a man called Old Doc. He was on the porch back there at that, whatever the hell that is, barn. He was standing out there with a shotgun. I don't know if it was for days or for hours, but waiting for the Martians so he could shoot them. All right, gang, so here's a better view of that farmhouse. Right here. Wonder how it really looked back then. It's probably cows or horses walking around. And as you can see, there's that water tower right above the garage, as you can kind of see. Let me try to get over here more. See it right there? God, GoPros suck with trying to zoom in, but I can kind of see it right there through the trees. That's the water tower right there. There you go, guys. One of the tripods from War of the Worlds. Hopefully you can see it. Kind of shooting up into the sky, so it's blackening it out a little bit. I'm not sure who made this because the plaque is gone or worn off. I can't tell. But that was a plaque. If you want to find this little art piece, it is on the corner of Alexander Road and Scott Ave in Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Really cool. Got eyes on it. Awesome. All right, so my microphone that I acquired from a friend of mine, has a little story behind it. Now, I don't know why they use this kind of style of microphone. That's not what he was using. That's a ribbon microphone. It's not what he was using during the broadcast. This is the exact microphone that he was using. Very old style looking thing. Made in the early 30s. In fact, let me get the details on exactly. Let me just sit over here and show you. Anyway, this microphone is the Western Electric number 618A. It's a moving coil microphone. This was the world's first dynamic microphone. This was in all the studios, CBS, NBC, everyone had this, and this was the exact microphone. Hopefully it was the exact microphone that Orson Welles was speaking into during his broadcast of the War of the Worlds. Now, this microphone was also developed by the Bell Labs in the early 1930s. Broadcasters everywhere use this, including all the studios. I picked this microphone up from a friend of mine. He had a box of microphones, really old ones and weird looking ones. And I kind of like microphones. I did a lot of podcasting in the day and have a bunch. I got this fuzzy ass thing right here. Lav mic, but I've always been interested in microphones. Anyway, so I got this box from him and didn't really think anything of it. I know I couldn't connect it to anything because I don't know what the hell kind of plug that is. That's just old. That's like, I don't know, Thomas Edison looking stuff, but whatever. Anyway, so I didn't really think anything of it until I started researching the War of the Worlds and saw Orson Welles speaking into this microphone. So I just, took it out, wanted to make sure it was the right one. It looked familiar to me. Picked it out, and then I started matching up some of the markings. So now, the markings on this thing, I'm going to put comparison photos right here. But there's one famous shot of him, move this, where he's talking into it, and it's an angle like this. And there's a mark right here, a little white mark. Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you can see that mark right there, but it's kind of blurry. GoPros don't really focus when you get close, but that mark right there is in the exact location of where his mark was. Also, there's like a little ding right here. I kind of have that same ding, which is just weird. Also, the Western Electric written right there. He has the same thing, and you can see that ding is off to the bottom of where it says Western, right around here. As you can see, I have that same mark, as well as that same mark, if I can get the glare right. Anyway, it's probably just me wishful thinking, but I do live in Jersey. Shut up, birds, ducks, geese, whatever. I do live in New Jersey. I don't know how many of these microphones were around in New Jersey. Now, like I said, these were pretty expensive, well, for the time. And only broadcasters and movie and studios, not movie studios, but radio studios. Well, they called them radio studios back then. Only those type of people had this. So it's just weird that I have one from that time period. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I just thought it was cool to bring it out and show it on this video, being that it's, you know, the same one he was using during the broadcast. Anyway, guys, Happy New Year. See you next year. Goodbye.